Well, here I am with the Canadian former soldier and now journalist, Scott Taylor, just back from Afghanistan. Afghanistan big in the news in Britain and, of course, all around the world. And I know your home country, Canada, because you're losing more and more men in the war. It's hard to know where to start, but let's start with, say, General Dostum, who I understand you met in Afghanistan recently.
He's a character. I think the reason that we're so interested in him is that he is the quintessential warlord. I mean, his very presence, continued presence in Kabul, tends to seriously irritate the internationals. They wish he would just either simply die or go away or be something which they can forget. And as we saw last year at the elections, believing he was, in exile, gone and forgotten, he showed up again on the eve of the elections and made quite a show up in Shebregan up in the north. Proving once again that, it's his old warlords never die, and they certainly don't fade away.
Interestingly, you did meet someone who you kind of respected, who didn't get very much media attention in the international corporate media, who came third in this ballot.
Well, this is, everyone talked about Abdullah and Khazai. It was one of those things where it's like, well, there's nothing new here, so why would anybody vote? Why would anybody care? Whoever they voted in, either it's another old warlord or it's Khazai, president who's been in there for almost 8 years. If there had been a white knight, they said it would have shown up, and certainly in this case, promoted anti-corruption. Had the West got behind this individual, Dr. Ramazan Bashardost, he could have made a huge difference. And then you realize when he starts detailing who it is he's going to go after, it's the very same internationals that would have been necessary to give him the profile and the funding that he's going to go after. So, it becomes this whole catch-22. We talk about, anti-corruption, curbing the corruption. It's all lip service. You've got people that are there. The Afghan people, we've talked to them, they're all fatigued. They want a change. They want you to get rid of the corruption, get this, it's not a monkey, it's a gorilla on their back. They want to get rid of it. Here's a man, again, by ethnic association, tribal association, his own caste, Hazaras, he's at the lowest end of the barrel, coming in as an outsider, able to win third place running, only on the anti-corruption ticket. There's your man. It's there. He exists.
Well, the big corporate media story from Afghanistan was Operation Mushtarak, this all-important town of Marja. Some reports, the corporate media are always going on about how NATO troops are doing so much to build civil society, build schools. I understand you have a different view about the schools, or at least the staffing of the schools?
The yardsticks that we use, the building of a school, we check it off on a box, and that it's there, and we tell the journalists in the green zones or inside the wire, as they say, we've built a school. It's progress. When we visited the schools, went outside and actually talked to the principal, realized that he had, yes, it was a building. He had scarcity of books, one computer, no teachers. Because of the security situation, it's far more lucrative to be a soldier in any form or a policeman than it is to be a teacher. It's about 1/3 the wages. So the best and the brightest, and in fact in this case almost all the males qualified, have been scooped up into the Afghan security forces in Kandahar where they're needed most. So, as long as this goes on, we're denying the next generation an education, which means you got another, unemployable workforce, basically, that the only job they can provide is security either for their side or for our side. And so it goes on. We'll never get off that circuit if we don't actually invest in what we claim we are. Building a school means nothing unless we, apply the teachers, the curriculum, and get something sorted. So, again, it's lip service and false progress.
Schools with no teachers. The other aspect of this, of course, is your country, Canada. One of the presenters on the channel this is broadcast on, George Galloway, banned from your country. When do you think Stephen Harper or the Canadian population are going to get tired of these numbers of service people that are dying?
The people already are. That's the thing, is it's an unfortunate situation we've got ourselves in now. We've got a minority government, and all the parties agreed to an extension to 2011. And that took it off the table politically. People then said, look, we can get through to that date. It's an end date. We'll hold their feet to the fire, and then it's over. The bleeding will stop. And in between that time, every time we have another soldier killed, there's a minor controversy. But it's more or less, given the end date, people can say, look, just hold our nose. We'll just get to the end, and that's it. No political party now can even discuss possibly the extension beyond that date right now. It's just people are fatigued, and yet all the parties have agreed to it, so there's nothing we can do. There's no issue, no election issue that will drive them to the polls and bring the government down.